This is the very first Galactic Squadcast. I know, that was a really bad pun.
I don't want to be part of this galaxy anymore.
That's why we moved to a new one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, guys, welcome to the Galactic Squadcast with your host, myself, the Renegade Cosplayer. And joining me today is my squad. Off to my, well, I don't know, I guess to the right of the screen for you viewers, this is DieByTheSword, Richard.
Huzzah!
Richard!
Alright, and then down below me is Dedmeethed.
Huzzah!
Yeah, you.
Ha ha ha, I'm on top of Dead. Ha ha ha.
Well, okay. That means I have to do less work.
Alright, and then, of course, we also have the lovely Thessian Shadow.
And I need no entrance. Moving on.
Dun dun dun!
Thank you.
We all know who she is, but we still love that she is a part of the Squadcast anyway, so.
I'm leaving the Milky Way. See ya.
I didn't say you could go anywhere. Alright,
Well.
so,
That was
So-
awkward.
yeah, so this is the very first Galactic Squadcast. This is a weekly podcast on the Mass Effect series as a whole, the history and the mythology on it, and also what we've personally experienced, so we are very happy to start this. Of course, this is mainly just my idea. They just came along for the ride. Good.
Fine, I'm not making
Shotgun.
music anymore.
Shotgun!
Shotgun!
Damn it, Rich.
Alright, so this first week is basically going to be about how we got started and some of our own personal experiences playing the trilogy and, of course, Andromeda. We will get to Andromeda a little bit later, though, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, if the rest of you viewers can't hear, I do have a Mass Effect playlist on Spotify. Yeah, so it's going to be playing music throughout Andromeda and, of course, the trilogy and some of the DLC themselves. So, anyway, if you guys are set, let's get started with the first prompt for tonight. So, question number 1. Were we fans of BioWare before Mass Effect came out? Like,
Yep.
before it even existed,
Yep.
were you fans?
Yep.
Honestly, no.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so, Dad, why don't you start with, yeah, so Dad, why don't you start with what you were fans of before Mass Effect? Like, what were your experiences with BioWare before it came out?
Knights of the Old Republic, Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's Gate. I didn't play Icewind Dale though.
I've heard Icewind
That
Dale's
one's
pretty
done.
good.
I think Jade Empire was right after Dragon Age and Mass Effect though. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Richard, what about yourself? What were your experiences with BioWare before Mass Effect?
I was somewhat exposed to Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 without playing them. Neverwinter Nights, same deal. But Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic was my first, definite delving into a BioWare game, and I've been hooked ever since. It took some convincing from a friend to get me into Mass Effect. In fact, I played the first Mass Effect about the same time the second Mass Effect was launching. So I decided if I was going to get into the second one, I'm going to play the first one first, and that's how I got there. And Dragon Age, was around that same time,
Okay.
a little bit before.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, Dragon Age is kind of like the sister series to Mass Effect. It's very good, very good.
Wait,
right.
am I the only one that actually got Mass Effect when it came out?
I think you are.
You might be.
Damn.
Yes.
Yeah, because the rest of us didn't start until, like, after it came out, so... Alright, so, next question. How did we first hear about Mass Effect? Like, when did you first hear about it, and were you interested in it at all? Well, for me, I actually first heard about it when Dedmeethed here, I think I saw you playing it.
Probably.
I think I did. I'm not sure, but it was on my wish list on Steam. Both 1 and 2 were, and yeah, Dead Meathead ended up getting it for me one Christmas due to the Steam sale, and it kind of just sat in my library actually for a long time before I was like, you know what? Why not? I'll give it a shot. I was hooked ever since.
Yeah, my fault.
It's
Totally my
totally
fault.
her fault. So yeah, that's how I first heard about it. I'm still not quite sure if I saw her playing it or like she actually talked about it. More than likely she talked about it in chat before, like in another chat room. And I was like, "Oh, that sounds kind of cool." So yeah, that's how that got started. Richard, I know that you kind of answered that already before, but why don't you just go ahead and tell in detail how you first heard about it?
I was admin for a popular Half-Life mod way back in the day, and one of my moderators on the who had been bugging me non-stop to play Mass Effect. Non-stop. So big shout out to Hibiki from ESF. Thank you, bud, for getting me hooked on this helplessly.
Your fault.
It's Hibiki's fault. Yep. So, I definitely played through the first one, and I loved my impressions of it were like Star Trek and Star Wars went off and had a baby with all the coolness of Star Wars and the scientific mm, exploration feel of Star Trek. And I was really, blown away being the commander of my own vessel and having a crew and all that. And the immersive BioWare storytelling just hooked, line, and sinkered me.
Yeah,
That
and
has been my
and of
experience with the series.
yeah, and of course having played Dragon Age and Knights of the Old Republic um before that, I guess I would be guessing that you would assume that this would already be a very good game. But
Yeah.
that's just my interpretation.
Yeah, I had enough positive reviews from people that I knew it was going to be, as long as this game series was out, I was going to be a part of it. So.
Right. All right. Thessian, why don't you tell us your story about how you first heard of Mass Effect and like how did you first hear about it?
I actually heard about it from a friend on Facebook who had actually played the third game and had gotten it solely for the possibility of a gay romance. He was very big on that, so yeah, that's what I thought of it too. Anyway, yeah, he said, you really need to play this. I was really big into James Cameron's Avatar at the time. So he said, you will love the Asari, and he was not wrong. Shout out to Tomb Raider guy from Origin. Thank you, bud. I owe you, man. I started playing the series in 2013, I believe, or late 2012. Yeah, December 23rd, 2012 is whenever I started playing. And started with Mass Effect 1. The similarities to Star Trek and the amazing voice talent from the series really got me in. So from the first 5 minutes into the game, I was sold. Mass Effect 1.
All right, cool. All right, yeah, and yeah, just a little tidbit here for myself. I started playing the series in about 2015. Of course, I started with the first one, and yeah, the minute I did the first mission, I was instantly sold. on the series, and I played it. I've been playing it ever since. All right. Now this is also going to be related to the first two questions, but it's basically how did we get it? How did it come to us? Like, did you guys yourselves buy it, or was it gifted to you? And I had already answered this before, but Dad gifted it to me in Christmas of 2013, 2014. I don't remember which one, but yeah, she ended up giving it to me for Christmas, and like I said, it kind of just sat in my Steam library for a little bit until I eventually played it. Um, yeah, so, Thessian, how did you get the series? Was it gifted to you, or did you buy it yourself?
I actually bought it on PlayStation 3. I decided, I'm going to go all out and get all 3 games. And played one playthrough for PlayStation 3, then said, screw this, I'm going to get it for Origin. So I got the entire trilogy for PC.
Awesome.
Bought both myself.
Awesome. Richard, how did you get it? Did you buy it yourself? Like, did you buy it just one game at a time? Or did you just like get it? Did you just like get everything all at once? Was it gifted to you? How did that happen?
Who did you ask? I didn't hear it.
Oh,
yeah, you skipped out.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Richard, I was asking that to you.
I purchased the games for myself, downloadable content. I'm a middle-aged guy, so buying games is a little easier for me than younger folk out there who are having a hard time finding jobs or getting good-paying jobs early on in their life. So that came at just the right time. I had the extra cash to go a little crazy, buy the first and second game and all the DLC as they came. And, I bought those all on PC. I'm a primarily PC player, but I do have an Xbox 360, or at the time I had an Xbox 360. And I currently have an Xbox One, but I haven't rebought anything except for Mass Effect 3 on the 360, which I'm using on the Xbox One in backwards compatibility mode, just to play with some Xbox players who have expressed interest in playing with me on that.
Okay. All right, cool. Um, Dedmeethed, how did you first get it? Was it gifted to you, or like, did you buy it yourself? Did you have to go to an actual game store to get it? How did that happen?
I got them all on day one.
Well,
When they came out, I
yeah.
had friends that worked at GameStop, so I would always get them day one.
Oh, that's really good.
And always working. I had a little money.
Yeah. That's cool that you had friends at GameStop that allowed you to get them on day one. That's really cool.
Well, I worked one part-time too. Easiest job ever.
Oh, nice. That's
Of
really
course,
cool.
Back when I worked, you got a 25% discount on everything, even the used stuff.
Nice. That's
Now they don't do that.
Yeah.
Actually, that's kind of important to note that I waited for the third one at midnight, much like Ded just said, but for Andromeda, we all knew what happened with that one.
Yeah.
Digital.
Digital.
Yeah, we all bought the early access. We all timed.
Yeah. For those of you viewers that don't know, for Andromeda, we had a little bit of a release party via Discord, which is what we're recording this on right now. Yeah, we all had a release party with like any kind of food we could get. We all had early access, and we were all playing it at the same time. It was a lot of fun. But we'll get to that another time. All right,
On
so
you all to download it.
yeah. Yeah.
Curse you, DSL.
Yeah. All right, so now that that's out of the way, let's get to our first experiences with the game. What our first playthroughs are like. So I'm gonna start this off by doing like quick rundowns of 1, 2, and 3. So with Mass Effect 1, so with Mass Effect 1, you guys remember like going on the first mission with Kaidan and Jenkins. Rest in peace, Jenkins.
Jenkins got his 5 minutes of fame.
Yep.
Yeah. Not even 5 minutes in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure he didn't spring back up after that one and say, "That was awesome!"
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, rest in peace, Jenkins. And then, of course, you got Ashley right after that. But then, of course, you see the cutscene between Nihilus and Saren. Why couldn't Nihilus have lived?
Oh,
He should have lived!
Plot progression, Turian
Yeah.
fangirl.
pretty much, yeah.
Because he had to be the start of the shitstorm that was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, so, of course, Saren ended up killing Nihilus. I was very, very upset. But then, of course, you go over the hill on Eden Prime and you see the gigantic Sovereign. You basically see Sovereign and you're just like,
Wow.
what?
Is that a giant hand?
Yeah.
That was my first impression.
I was thinking it was like a giant squid.
I
Yeah.
was thinking the squid thing too.
Yeah.
The Kraken.
It just looked like a hand to me for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. When I first saw Sovereign, I was blown away. Like, what the hell is that? And, and then of course we got the beacon, or we had the vision from the beacon on Eden Prime that warned us the Reapers were coming. So, yeah. Damn it, Kaidan! So of course we had to go to the Citadel and talk to the Council about what Saren did. And what did the Council do? Did not believe us one bit.
Well, in their place, I guess I wouldn't either, because the only evidence you really had was a dead Spectre. Yeah, a dead Spectre, a wacko on Eden Prime who took naps during his day shift,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple people who were pilfering supplies from the Alliance military. So, yeah, not too many Gold Star witnesses there.
Yeah.
And 2 doctors. One was
I
Yeah, one was a little touched.
Yeah, I always got mad at the fact that the Solarian Council was like, one testimony of a traumatized dock worker is hardly compelling proof. I'm like, I have evidence right there! Like, I just wanted to smack them in the face, but
You Turian.
yeah, Thessian does have a point, so, anyway.
Yes. Proof. We've dismissed those claims.
Yeah, we have dismissed that claim. So yeah, and then so begins the process of building the rest of your squad. You have whom you get Garrus, the Turian CSEC officer, and Tali, the Quarian who's on her pilgrimage, and Rex, the Krogan bounty hunter.
Quads.
Let's not go there. But yeah, so you get your squad mates, and then, of course, thanks to Tali, she has some proof from a Geth that she extracted the memory core from that proves that Saren was involved in the attack on Eden Prime, and he will be the one to bring the Reapers back. So yeah, then the council makes you a Spectre, and yeah, it goes from there. Now, viewers, if you haven't played the Mass Effect series yet,
Spoilers.
yeah, spoilers. On to Pharos, where you encountered the Thorian. That thing was fucking huge.
Why are you green?
Yeah, why are you green?
I'll save my comeback for later and when we deal with Mass Effect 2.
Yeah. But yeah, that thing was huge. I remember when I first encountered it, I clicked on the middle option that said, "We are gonna need bigger guns."
You know, my
No,
first
the
reaction
smaller
to
guns work just fine on Chiala's face.
Yeah.
my first reaction to that thorn was, why is it pooping out Asari?
I know, right?
Gross. It's like
That was like
drooling.
one of the most gross things I've ever seen. Like, what?
Sorry, I was distracted by the green Asari, okay?
Why are you green?
But for the record, I did fairly
It was at that moment that Thessian Shadow said to herself, I may have to extend myself into green space ladies as well as blue.
Yeah.
Cool, purple, teal, blue, green, you know. Gold.
She goes for all of them.
She's not picky. She keeps an open mind.
Yeah.
Color's not a problem.
But yeah, so yeah, Thorian, quite the thing there. Alright, on to Novaria. Where you would,
Cold.
or actually no, before we go on to Novaria, you had to go to that planet to rescue the matriarch's daughter, and that matriarch who was also helping Saren at the same time. So
And who was also Marina Sirtis from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Mm.
Really, really boosting that whole, oh hey, Star Trek's
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, there you meet Liara, the last squad mate that you get. She is an Asari, and she is also a Prothean archaeologist, a quite adorable one, I might add.
Just
also
for the record,
a
it's
lot
really
of fun to
weird.
save her last.
What?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. When you leave her and save her for last, it's actually pretty funny.
I'm not sure if I did that yet. I might have to.
If you save her for last, she's definitely worse for the wear of being captive in that bubble for so long.
She's out of it. She's completely out of it.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so after you rescue Liara, then usually in my playthrough, I went on to Novaria for last because coming from me, I personally find Novaria one of the tougher missions, at least for me. Yeah, so once you get to Novaria, you have the encounter with Matriarch Benezia, who is Liara's mother.
Ubezia.
Boobezia!
Ubezia.
Okay, another thing here,
Honest,
viewers.
what a rat.
Another thing here, viewers.
We're children.
Another thing here, viewers. Benezia has boobs for days. Like, oh my god.
Boobs for life. Come on.
Yeah, boobs
Get it
for
right.
life.
Well, yeah, she died with them, that's for sure.
Where she stores her massive biotics.
May her boobs
That
rest in
right.
peace. Now here comes a very crucial decision. The Rachni Queen. The very last Rachni Queen. You have the option to kill her or let her live. I've done both, but I personally prefer to save her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
I have never killed her. I always feel highly uncomfortable sitting in judgment on an entire species to the tune of genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I've never killed her myself, but I've seen what happens if you do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so so now for any of my playthroughs, I always save her because I feel it's very beneficial well, actually it is very beneficial in Mass Effect 3, but we will get to that later. Alright, so fast forward a little bit, you now get a mission from the Council to go and investigate a site run by Saren on Vermeer. Now this is where things really come into play. for my first playthrough, well, first off, you do have a little bit of a confrontation with Rex, and you can actually have the option to shoot him. And to that I say, don't do it. Don't do it.
I've done it.
Just don't do it. It's
You have three options. Either A, save him and convince him. B, shoot him. Or C, let Ashley shoot him. So, either way.
if you shoot him or let Ashley shoot him, then you have a personal spot reserved in hell for you.
I'd let Ashley shoot him.
To which I say, leave her there.
And then you nuked Ashley on Bruno.
Yep.
Actually, that playthrough I did.
So for me,
Yeah, so, yes.
I love Rex as a character. I've never been able to kill him. If I want to see what's up with Reeve, I can always wait till he gets eaten by a Thresher Maw in 3. Or I could, just not see him at all in my games and watch him on YouTube, and that's usually what I relegate him to.
Yeah. For my first playthrough on Vermeer, I have never killed Rex, and I never will. Strangely, I have never been able to save Captain Kirihee. I don't know why. I do get one objective done, and that's to disrupt the Geth communications. I always remember to get that, but I have never found like any of the other objectives or anything like that, so I've never been able to save him, which really makes me sad because I like Kirihee.
After you do the antenna, you have to backtrack a little and do the Geth bombers.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you do the Geth bombers, you have to set off the alarm and deal with the infantry yourself, because you can be as fast as a leopard and strong as a Krogan. Should never be better than Commander Shepard.
Exactly.
Take all those Geth out, because Commander Kirihee can't hold that particular.
Yeah. So I'm sure the rest of you have been able to save Kirihee in one playthrough or another, which is good.
I've only lost him once, thankfully.
Yeah.
And that's what save editors are for.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get on to the major decision of Vermeer, and that's to leave either Kaden or Ashley with the bomb. Kaden!
The barbecue.
Kaden!
My first playthrough with FemShep, I left Ashley because my FemShep was romancing Kaden. Oh my god, do I regret that. But, ever since then, Kaden stays for the barbecue.
Yeah, so for my first playthrough, I actually did
All you
leave.
want to do is give him a short beach tan.
Something burning.
Yeah. Yeah, so for my first playthrough, I actually left Kaden behind. I actually did leave him behind the first time, thinking like, oh, I don't like Kaden, so, he can stay with the bomb. And I was like, Ashley's cooler. Oh my god, playing as a Renegade FemShep, I totally regret that. So, so now, like, all of my playthroughs are... Yeah, so, like, either my playthroughs are leave Ashley and just deal with Kaden later. I'll get to that point later, viewers, if we talk about Mass Effect 3, so... But yeah, I now since leave Ashley behind because, oh my god, I couldn't stand her when I was a Renegade FemShep. It was so bad. I'm like, why couldn't I leave you instead? So, yeah, that was fun.
Ashley.
Alright, so, fast forward a little bit. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Richard.
I actually like both Kaiden and Ashley. Save them about 50% of the time each.
Yeah, just to give them a reasonable survival rate in no matter which playthrough.
Yeah, exactly. I like seeing both their stories. I enjoy the drunken.
Alright, so fast forward a little bit. let's see. Yeah, so you're called back to the Citadel by the Council, and they're like, oh yeah, we don't need your help anymore, so we're gonna ground your ship, and yeah, you can just stay here while we deal with Saren now. And of course, Udina had a part in that, so I was very, very angry. Cue me going to talk to Anderson. Now, my first playthrough, I actually had Anderson go to the controls in the docking bay. But ever since I saw what happens if you send him to Udina's office, I always go for it now. Always. Just so I could give Udina a taste of his own medicine.
Nice.
Anderson, what are you doing here? I didn't send for any poof!
Goliath punching the shit out of Udina.
Yeah.
How can you not beat that?
I know! So
I
yeah,
only regret that I couldn't punch him myself.
I know. I very much regret that. Yeah, so
And
for the
the
rest of
Goliath.
you, what did you do? Like, did you send Anderson to the flight controls, or did you have him punch Udina first playthrough?
I punched the crap out of him.
Good
Always punch him.
choice. Good choice.
I believe I sent him to the flight controls, and then after that was, send him to the office.
Yeah.
First playthrough, if I remember correctly, I actually had him deck Udina, and then I've had him go to Citadel Control as well, so seen both results.
Yeah.
And
All
for
right.
the viewers, the Goliath pun is, if you watch Gargoyles, he was the voice of Goliath.
Yeah. The voice of Anderson, Keith David, was in Gargoyles. Yes. Gotta love Anderson. He's so cool. Anyway, yeah, so after that's dealt with, you then go to Ilos. And you actually get a really, really good moment where you talk to this Prothean VI named Vigil. Just that moment right there is probably one of the best in the series, because it really gives you a window to the Protheans, how they were when they were alive, and also what they tried to do in order to fight back against the Reapers. And I don't know about you, but like standing in that room full of like cryopods that had Protheans in them and they had to be deactivated, that was like one of the more just, oh my god, like that was actually like kind of rough and yeah, and shocking to me. So
I like the entire Ilos level from beginning to end, including the trench run. Very, very fun level. But if we're talking about single most impactful moment with a VI, which turns out to obviously not be a VI, we're going to go back to Vermeer for a second and talk about Sovereign, which is absolutely one of my favorite moments in the entire series.
yeah.
That conversation with Sovereign on Vermeer is probably the single best moment for me in this series. Sovereign is so ice cold. The conversation and its implications are bone chilling. That you have this alien race that's ridiculously ahead of everyone else, and just for reasons that they decide not to disclose, they on you like locusts and rip everything up. And it's about to start again, and here you are trying to stop it with a handful of corrupted information from a Prothean that wasn't really speaking into you in any way that you could decipher.
Right.
And so, I mean, that part was my favorite, but Vigil was also very cool. I like the idea that Vigil was corrupted. Like, you couldn't see what a Prothean looked like because Vigil was just...
he's been sitting there.
Ouch.
Yeah, he's been sitting there for God knows how long.
A very long time. Longer than the Andromeda Initiative, obviously, since those cryopods did not fare as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, just for me, just talking to Vigil for the first time and seeing Ilos was like, it was breathtaking, yet it was like very, how do I say this? Very melancholy, very upsetting in a way, just to see like this entire race of Protheans be decimated to nothing by the Reapers. And actually,
Right back.
there have been theories. Actually, I think this is probably already confirmed, but I'm not too sure that Ilos, like if you look at the statues on Ilos, it's like sort of clear that they don't that they weren't there first. I'm not sure if that was confirmed yet, but
It
was.
I think it was confirmed in the technically in the third game, maybe in the second by Javik in the third anyway. He mentioned that Ilos was a facility that was built on the facility at Ilos was built on the ruins of the Inusanon, the dominant race that came before the Protheans. So every bit of technology that the Protheans got came from the Inusanon, came from the race before. And same with this cycle. So yeah.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
So yeah. So
since we're talking about that particular thing, I want to say that this is a glaring example of how to do a retcon properly. They had no idea what the Protheans were going to end up looking like, and they didn't come up with the design for Javik until well after doing the collectors. So they had no way to properly do the statues on Ilos animated as Protheans, so they retconned that to be the cycle before the Inusanon, and that's a seamless retroactive continuity for me. Excellent writing on their part.
Right.
In my opinion.
All right. So moving past Ilos, we now go to the Battle of the Citadel, which is the final mission and the final battle with Saren. At first, I was like kind of disappointed that Saren only took like one shot and then like down he falls, but then you see him like Reaper-fied like by Sovereign. I'm just like, oh holy fuck.
Spider Saren.
Spider Saren. Saren is actually really tough. Like that was probably one of the more tougher fights in the first game for me. That was quite the fight with him. It took me a while to take him down. And then, of course, you have the crucial... Well, I wouldn't... Actually, yeah, I'm going to call it a crucial decision here, but it's letting the council die or saving them.
It is a crucial decision.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the bigger decisions of the game, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it turns into aliens still hating you more, or actually liking you and hailing you as a hero for saving them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, also, just a quick note here. Apologies for any noise on Dead's end. Her son is still awake, so...
I have to adult.
Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, I actually let the council die the first time. Because I didn't like them, so I let them die, but after seeing the kind of influence they could have at the end of the trilogy, I started saving them. Because I started seeing like, oh wow, like it is important to have them around still, so.
Mm-hmm.
Also, not all of the counselors are that bad. The only one is the Turian counselor, like, he can screw off for all I care. Sorry.
Just being nice about Tibus because Thessian.
Yeah.
The Solarian one was pretty bad too.
Yeah,
This
Solarian
really
one
like
I didn't like.
Valorn was more logical. He was just logical. He kept things straightforward. He didn't go one way or another, really. He was giving you the point blank, we need more evidence. We can't make a decision on this. We can't even trust the word of a single Spectre, not without solid evidence. He was telling the truth, but he was being a bit snobbish about it.
Yeah. Which is why I like to hang up on the council in one. It's so fun to do. Yeah, so viewers, for those of you who don't know, if you whenever you're talking to the council and giving them a mission report while you're on the ship, you have the option to hang up on them, and it's some of the funniest shit ever.
You know what? I'm sick of your council's disingenuous assertions.
Yeah. Oh man, that was great.
Alright, I'm just kidding. Hit that channel back, Joker.
Yeah, so okay. So moving on to Mass Effect 2 now. Very first cutscene, you see two people talking named Miranda and the Elusive Man. And my first thought was, who are these freaks?
That ass.
I know. We'll get to Miranda shortly, I promise.
The Elusive Man is in orbit around Miranda's ass.
That planet that you see at the beginning is drawn towards it.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and then after that, straight after that, the cutscene you get, you're on the Normandy, and then all of a sudden, you see this gigantic ship come after it and just tear it the fuck apart. It just completely blows up the Normandy. And here you are on the ship trying to save Joker, and eventually you do get him in the escape pod, but at the cost of your own life. When I first saw that, I was like, did I just die?
That person is reaction. I'm dead already? Oh shit, this was a short game.
I know.
Wow, 5
During
minutes based. Okay.
during the launch of Mass Effect 3, I had the privilege of playing with Josh Hendricks in multiplayer, who was the mapper for BioWare who made that level. And we talked about it in great length because it's really cool, that moment when the doors open to the CIC and the sound just cuts out. You realize you're in vacuum. There is no sound.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your metallic boots clanking on the platform, and you look up and you're just like, the CIC is gone.
Yeah.
And it's one of those moments, another one of those moments that sticks with you throughout the series. You know, seeing the Normandy get wrecked, watching Joker be a pain in the ass and causing Shepard to get killed. Good job,
Pretty much.
Joker.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank you.
it's like, you know, watching Shepard getting spaced right in the opening minutes of the game was definitely, what the hell?
Yeah, like, we're dead already? Like, what is this? But yeah, so that was definitely one of the more powerful moments for me. Like, well, not so much powerful, but like, genuinely upsetting. Like, what the hell? Like, we only get one game with Shepard and they die? Like, what is this?
Well, that's also a very horrible death. You're suffocating and then you burn alive.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, re-entry
Yeah,
and
melting us.
vacuum exposure, two ways I would definitely not want to go.
Yeah. Yeah, getting spaced is definitely not a good way to go. But yeah, so then after that, you're kind of on an operating table, and you see that same woman, Miranda, and of course you shortly lose consciousness after that, but yeah, you see yourself on the operating table, and it's like, what? I'm alive after all? And of course, after you wake up on the station, you then meet the first new character of the trilogy, Jacob Taylor.
The prize.
Heavy risk.
Don't get me started on Jacob right now, just still.
but the prize.
That's
Oh,
so
man.
bad.
Kylie's so upset she left her prize in the vents at the end of the game.
Shut up.
Her prize took a rocket and blew up.
Anyway, so yeah, you meet Jacob and Miranda on the station, and yeah, my first thoughts were, why are both of you just bitches? Like, well, not Jacob so much, but Miranda definitely. I even asked her as Shepard, are you literally this bitchy or is it just me?
I have to say right here at this point, you gave Jenkins all this love. He got his own character moment, but we don't talk about Wilson.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we need to talk about Wilson, don't we?
We didn't talk about Jenkins 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jenkins 2.0.
Yeah, Jenkins 2.0. That was great. Oh, Wilson.
Hi, Miranda. Bam. Oh.
Miranda,
Wilson-
but you are
Wilson
boom.
Yeah.
Dead.
Dead.
Did. He had it coming.
Yes, he did.
He sabotaged the station from within. Really, the motives were unclear, except for getting rid of Shepard.
Yeah.
At least,
I'm pretty sure it was
that's-
revealed at some point that he was working with the Shadow Broker.
It wouldn't
More than
surprise
likely.
me.
It may have been in the log somewhere on the Shadowbroker DLC that came later, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
First
definitely
impressions of
wouldn't
Miranda.
surprise me. Alright, so, yes, God, Wilson. Sorry, dude. You had it coming, though. Yeah, so shortly after that, you get your first mission from the Elusive Man. And, I always got the... I always did get the feeling, you know, like, why did you spend so many credits on me? And he's like, oh, you know, the Reapers are still out there, and yeah, you gotta go take care of that thing for me. But I don't know, I always sensed like another reason why he revived you, like why he brought you back to life. But I don't know, that's just me.
He wanted you to be his puppet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, Cerberus, the whole issue with them is kind of complicated, because as soon as you meet the Elusive Man, well, as soon as Jacob mentions you're working for Cerberus, just by the way, you're on one of our stations. From Mass Effect 1, doing the UNC Cerberus mission, the Missing Marines, Hades Dogs, all three of those missions, and even the other experimental ones where you dealt with Rachni, Husks, and Thorian Creepers, from Exogen, all of those were linked back to Cerberus experimentation. And you know what they are from that game. You know what they do. And then to hear, oh, by the way, Cerberus rebuilt you, Cerberus revived you, and you're on a Cerberus station protecting Cerberus. Just so you know.
Yeah.
And, oh, we're going to take you to Cerberus's leader, the Elusive Man. Shepard probably
got
had
my bag up.
Yeah, he had a serious the fuck moment, he or she, whichever one playing as. At least in my case. Very confusing as to why they would spend so many credits on you, aside from being an asset, when all you did in one was destroy all of their stuff.
Right. Yeah, so, yeah, you get your first mission, that is to go to the colony of Freedom's Progress, because apparently there have been colonies that have been missing. And you get to meet Tally again! Yay! I love you, Tally.
That moment she realizes who you are.
I know, she's like, wait, Shepard?
Even if you're wearing a helmet and she can't see your face, it's still funny to see.
I know.
Hey, you know what? Quarians probably developed that as an important social skill at a young age. Just saying. Who's that behind that helmet? Auntie Ron? Oh!
I can
Sorry,
see through
Uncle
you.
Hubert.
Yeah, speaking of missing colonies, the Collector base is playing right now from the soundtrack. Yeah, getting to that actually, when you get to the end of Freedom's Progress, you surely discover that there's a mysterious people called the Collectors that have been taking these colonies away. For what reason, though, you don't know at that point. Of course, though, when you report back to the Elusive Man, yeah, you get your ship back. Hey, free ship, all right. And you get Joker back as well, which is really cool. And I gotta say, seeing the Normandy SR2 take off the very first time with that musical piece was just amazing. Like, yeah, I'm alive. I'm feeling good. I have a mission to do. Let's go kick some ass.
But you're still not quite sure what parts they've replaced or remade.
Yeah, exactly. I always got that. I always felt that like okay, Cerberus built me. They gave me a ship. They gave me funds, and they gave me a mission to do. Okay, fine, but like, which parts of the ship did they rebuild? Or
I meant Shepard. I didn't mean the ship.
Yes, I'm sorry, Shepard. I'm sorry, Shepard. But yeah, like, which parts of you are still Shepard and which parts are not? Like, which parts have been enhanced? That I wish they could have done more with. Like, definitely. Especially for my Renegade Shepard, because she was Earthborn. She didn't have any family. But a message that she always carried with her was, just be yourself, accept the reality, and, like, when I imagine her looking in the mirror after she's rebuilt, she's like, okay, which parts, though, are exactly me? Like, I'm at a loss here, so.
With the Renegade ship, she becomes the Terminator.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's nice
definitely
because
Terminator ship.
Yeah,
What that scene?
That topic is covered a bit later in Mass Effect 3, in one of the last missions. Shepard's whole dealing with what parts of him or her are still there and what parts are not.
Yeah.
What parts were rebuilt and recreated, but I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
The initial quote Normandy reborn moment where you get Joker back, you get your ship, you get Kelly Chambers. Come on, everybody loves her, and you get Edie. Everyone has to deal with Edie.
Especially the Baron. Just saying.
Baron, just yeah. It was a bit of a conflict for me, honestly, because the last time you saw Joker, you were having to haul his ass out of the Normandy SR1's cockpit in order to save him from where he was being stubborn. And then all of a sudden, you see him again, and it's like, oh, we're still best friends. Okay, how does that work?
Yeah.
There should have, I don't know. I found to be a little bit of a grudge or something. Not grudge, wrong word, but something of a, why am I happy to see you again kind of moment, because he's the reason you died, people.
Yeah.
He's the reason Shepard got spaced. I can still save her. No, you can't. You're going to crash and burn if you sit in that pilot seat any longer. Get out. But
Yeah.
no, did that happen? You hauled him out, put him in an escape pod, you got spaced. But we're still best friends. Okay, right.
As the commanding officer on your frigate, you absolutely should have gone down with the ship. So I don't think that any of my shepherds would have been that angry that they went down with the original Normandy to get somebody off. Sure, Joker absolutely should have abandoned his post long before that, but who's to say that his last-minute administration didn't save more lives? It makes it kind of a tough call. I do think there should have been some sort of conversation between Joker and Shep concerning that moment, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying Shepard should have been a total bitch to Joker about it. Like, not saying that Shepard should not have gone down with the ship, because that would have been something he or she would have done. But the fact is, Joker should have abandoned his post before that. He should not have been pulled away, although his actions could have saved more lives. We really don't know.
Yeah, we
It's
just
still a
don't
big
know.
conflict, big issue. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so, okay, moving on, at this point, it's really just a matter of getting, your new squad mates to join up with you, and, doing their loyalty missions. Actually, why don't we talk about, a couple of loyalty missions? Like, what was your favorite loyalty mission in Mass Effect 2? Mine, for me, it's... I kind of love all the loyalty missions, but ones that definitely stood out to me were Kasumi, Garrus,
Gosh.
Thane, who else am I missing? Tally, and I feel like I'm missing someone else. Samara. Those are my top 5 loyalty missions in Mass Effect 2.
I really liked Samara's because of the whole club scene and trying to lure more. That was a fun, different kind of thing to do.
Yeah.
Where you had to be careful about your choices, or you could utterly screw.
Yeah, definitely.
I really, really love Legion's loyalty quest because that choice, and you keep questioning him about it as you go through, and they can't make the decision. You can't make the decision as you're going through. Most people are like, I don't know what to destroy or rewrite, you know. And I believe the first time through, I picked to destroy them.
Yeah, I believe my first time around, I picked to destroy them as well. It kind of goes back and forth. Cause like I don't really know which one is the right one, but
The right one in terms of the death to have peace. There is actually a right answer there, and you want to make sure that you destroy the heretics, I think.
yeah,
If you rewrite them, I forget which one it is. One of the two actually gives you a point towards being able to make them have a peaceful resolution.
yeah,
It's rewriting them. Rewriting gives you the point toward resolving the issue later in Mass Effect 3. Destroying them may give you a little bit more time in 2. It may benefit you a little bit more in that game, but in the long run in 3, destroying the Geth heretics does not benefit you.
okay.
It gives you a
I knew
black
there was
mark in
one
their
of them.
book. Yeah, it gives you a black mark in the Geth's memory book there, because instead of giving a shot, to rewrite or to re-ally them with true Geth, you just said, okay, you know what, we'll do what the Quarians did, we'll destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Alright, so
I know he did it the wrong way the first time and the right way the
yeah. But before we get to Mass Effect 3, Dad, what were some of your favorite loyalty missions in 2?
Honestly, Garrus, of course, because when you have that sneaking in and you're betraying all those other people, you get to stab that guy with the little electric thing to knock him out, and rewriting the mech.
I love the recruitment mission. It's so fun.
And then you go in and you see that Archangel is Garrus, and you're like, yay!
I know. The first time I saw that, I literally jumped for joy. I'm like, yeah!
I had a friend who started crying.
I can't imagine why you would jump for joy. I mean, come on.
And probably Tally, because you have to work around the fact that sun is gonna fry the crap out of your shields while fighting everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's Tally.
Alright, so yeah, once you have all the loyalty missions and all the recruitments and other side quests squared away, you can now go and go after the collectors in the Omega 4 relay. Before I get to that though, if you did romance someone in 2, you will get a little scene with them before you actually do the final mission. And surprise. Surprise, I go after a Turian.
Now, don't forget when you have to go to a certain base, and then you see Caden or Ashley, whoever you saved, and then you hate them even more when they accuse you of being a traitor and, being, especially if you romance them, being an absolute douchebag.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a minute before I continue on. So, Yeah, when you see Caden or Ashley again, I wasn't entirely surprised the first time around. I had saved Ashley, so I'm like, oh, hey, you're here. And I'm like, come on with me. Let's go stop the collectors. And she just curses me out. Like, like I'm just like completely out of my mind. I completely lost my mind because Cerberus, she built me and everything like that. So I gave her a big fat middle finger and told her to never
This
come back on my
this
ship again.
this is how you say thank you for me leaving you off the special barbecue for one party on Vermeer.
Yeah.
My problem with that scene, in terms of Shepard's dialogue, is specifically what annoys me here, not the VS. Shepard does a really extraordinarily poor job of defending his or herself regarding the events
Mhm.
surrounding his resurrection and
Thank you.
Cerberus. Yeah, from a writing standpoint, it was just painful to sit there and go, why the frig isn't this being dealt with
Yeah.
the proper way? That's all I could think the entire scene, and it kind of drove me berserk. And I love the trilogy, I love the series, but I'm not going to shy away from the fact that scene I felt could have been done much, much better, and I
Mhm.
was disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, for my first playthrough, uh Ashley cursed me out and I gave her a big fat middle finger and told her to never come back on the ship.
Yeah.
You savage.
The I'll agree with Rich on this one. The dialogue there was terrible.
Right.
At least Shepard's dialogue, because Ashley and or Caden, depending on who you save on Vermeer, the VS or Vermeer Survivor, they give you the whole introduction, Commander Shepard, savior of the Citadel, all that, and a bag of chips, and then you're opening when your opening lines to them is, "You don't seem very happy to see me, Ash/Kate," and it's like, really? Never mind the fact that you're technically a ghost to them. I mean, they did not know that you were resurrected. They had heard rumors, but nothing was ever confirmed. So
Mhm.
here's their old commanding officer. Oh, they're alive. Okay, moving on. But especially if you romance them, it was really out of place. Because the big opening hug scene where timid approach, big hug, then they back off, then you say, "Oh, I missed you," and then it goes downhill from there. Poor writing on that part. Very bad dialogue for Shepard, to the point where you don't have an actual conversation about what happened. You
Mhm.
don't explain where you technically died and you were brought back. You don't explain the process that you know anyway, from where you find out you were dead for 2 years and change. You spent so many months literally in a forced frozen coma while they rebuilt you,
Right.
and you have conflict. Well, most people who play the first game first anyway have conflict working with Cerberus because of the situation, but they didn't go into that in dialogue, so it was a very black and white. They're the sanctimonious ones who stayed with the Alliance, who did the right thing. You're the bad black sheep of the Alliance that went off and went rogue and started working with a Black Ops organization that went south. So that whole confrontation was terrible.
All
Just my
right.
opinion.
Uh yeah, so moving on with that. Um Wait, where was I? Oh, right. Forgot where I was for a minute.
On Vermeer.
Yeah.
I know that's your favorite part to, give the middle finger to whoever it is you saved.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, before you go off to the collector base, you do have a little romance scene with whoever you romanced in Mass Effect 2. In Mass Effect 1, you kind of don't, so,
Mostly are.
yeah.
Oh,
And
Well-
Kaden, actually.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so whoever you romance in Mass Effect 1, you don't really have a moment with them. You just see like a picture of them on your desk and you're like, oh yeah.
Mr. Miranda.
Yeah.
Well, that.
Yeah, so romances
Oh,
for
wow.
romances for Mass Effect 2, you can either bang Miranda in the engine room. You can do it with Garrus, Thane, Jack, and Tally in your room, and
Jacob too.
yeah, and Jacob. And I think that's really about it. So, yeah, just depending on who you romance in Mass Effect 2, you're gonna have a little scene with them. Garrus romance is best.
Yeah. Who did we romance in Mass Effect 2?
Well, actually, Femshep, Garrus, Bellshep usually was Miranda or Jack.
Yeah. Well,
So,
Broshep,
I love Jack's romance. I really do.
well, with my Broshep, I'm
Miranda's
actually kind of going for Tally at the moment.
Them hips
Because,
don't lie.
yeah, the hips don't lie, and she is extremely adorable. But yeah, so then you have the suicide mission. And this is like definitely one of those missions in the entire series where you have to be careful about who you choose or someone's gonna die. First playthrough, I sent Legion into the vents, but I thought he was still loyal, and he wasn't. So he died.
Danger Will Robinson.
Flashlight head went boom.
Yeah, Legion kind of went boom. And yeah, and then shockingly, I lost Zaid. I was like, wait a minute, what? I don't know how. I don't.
I'm kind of impressed by that.
I don't remember at this point because my playthrough was because my first playthrough was so long ago. But yeah, he died while protecting the squad from the swarm. Like when you're leading your squad through the storm with the biotic specialist, you have the other party who's working to get through the pretty much the same thing. Yeah, Zaid died protecting them, and I'm kind of shocked about
Who'd you have
that.
as your biotic specialist?
I believe I had Jack.
Was Zaid
Loyal?
leading the other party?
Yes, he was leading the
That's
other
why.
party.
That's
Mhm.
why. Yep.
Yeah.
Garrus, Miranda, or Jacob have to be the ones that lead that other party.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they die.
Yeah, so that was really kind of a shocker to me. And yeah, so I started Mass Effect 3 without Legion and Zaid. It was kind of sad.
No goddamn cookies for you.
Yeah.
For me, the
So-
people that died on my first playthrough, and I don't even understand how it happened, Tally died,
Hmm.
and I purposely killed Morden, so, you know.
Well, we'll
He
get
took
to
a
her.
rocket to the face.
Well, we'll get to her feelings about Morden in a little bit.
How did Tally?
Yeah, how did Tally die for you?
What was she doing when she died?
I think I had her escort the other people to the ship. I think.
The only way that would happen is if she wasn't loyal.
She was,
Yeah.
though. That's the thing. But
Then that's the strange part. She should not. have
Yeah.
done
Mass
that.
Effect 2 is weird on that because I'll have loyal people and they'll still kill them for some reason, even though I'm
Yeah.
doing the right things.
Hmm.
So it's just, I don't know.
That is an odd one.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. Richard, how did your first suicide mission go?
You guys are gonna hate me.
You killed Garrus.
Nope.
Okay.
I did my way through the first shot. I paid attention to the group strengths. I took it very seriously, as a challenge that I was not going to lose anyone through this. So I went in there overwhelmingly prepared with every possible loyalty mission done, all the upgrades to the ship, even the unnecessary ones. And picking the people was all strictly business. Who is the best possible person for the job?
Right.
I believe Legion went through the vents, believing that his hardware would probably last a little bit longer than most plushies. I For leading the teams, I believe I switched off between Garrus and Miranda because I consider Garrus my XO through all my playthroughs. And for the biotic specialist, I may have used Samara instead of Jack. What other? Oh, and for holding the line, I just knew, that if we're going to be holding the line, that all my bad place. So Zaid, Grunt, Garrus, all those 4-point hold the line score guys were there holding the line. So I actually, by virtue of paying attention and being very careful, made it through my first attempt without losing a person, and haven't lost one since.
Nice.
Yeah. And I even sent, I believe, I took Morden with me and sent Kasumi back with the crew. I think that's how I got around the 2 people who commonly died during the portion.
Yeah. Thessian, how did your first suicide mission go?
My first suicide mission turned out the exact same as Richard's. Actually, I did not lose a man, or
Nice.
be politically correct, or woman, or flashlight head. Sorry, Legion.
Or a Morden.
Yeah, or a Morden. Didn't lose a Morden either.
Well, you gotta figure, when I beat Mass Effect 2, the DLC hadn't come out yet.
Right.
So I didn't have Kasumi and all that.
Yeah.
The thing to remember with suicide mission, just to really summarize a guide for those who cannot get anyone to survive. Leading the teams, either Garrus, Miranda, or Jacob have to lead your other teams. No other option, which I digress. Zaid should have been a possible leading option.
Yeah.
Because he was he was one of the leaders of the Blue Suns.
Yeah.
But Tally, Legion, or Kasumi can go through the vents and survive it. Your biotic specialist has to either be Morinth or Samara, depending on who you save. And Jack. Those are the only options you have. Otherwise, a squad mate does die. And for the last bit, when you go hold the line or go for the Human Reaper at the end of the game, your squad mates have to be loyal. That's just a given for the suicide mission anyway. They need to be loyal, or you're possibly going to lose someone. Your heavy hitters to leave for holding the line are going to be Zaid, Grunt, and Garrus.
Yep.
All 3 of them will make sure you don't lose anyone.
Yeah.
Then the last, going for the Human Reaper, your squad mates need to be loyal or they will not survive the final get out. So for the first bit, the 2 people I took with me would have been Samara and Legion were the first ones I took. And I left Garrus to run the first squad in, going into the base. Tally was the vent specialist. Going through the Seeker Swarms, Samara was my biotic specialist. Although Miranda claims she can do it, she cannot. Just make
just a warning here, viewers, don't ever choose Miranda for a biotic specialist. Just don't do it.
No, she can't do it regardless of what. Oh, no, joking here. Her perfect ass can't save everyone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
As a commanding officer, it's important to recognize bravado as the enemy.
Yes. Miranda led the second team through the swarms, or through the parallel chamber. And as much as the other squad mates didn't like it. I believe I took Legion and Jack with me through the swarms with Samara as the biotic specialist. But the last holding the line, I left Garrus, Grunt, and Zaid all 3 there. I took Miranda and Samara with me. And Miranda has some unique dialogue with the elusive man if you take her to deal with the human.
Yes, that is correct. Before we add on to that, let's talk about the final fight in the Collector base with the Human Reaper.
Human milkshake.
Yeah. It's definitely quite the battle, especially.
Toilet Reapers is made of people.
Yeah. Yeah, because at that very moment you discover why the Collectors wanted all these colonists. And it's like, hey, here's why. Why they wanted to do it, I don't know. I would have loved to know why. But as far as we know, it's like, hey, Human Reaper, it's gonna kill you. Here you go.
Well, you can go with Edie's thought on the subject of how maybe the Reapers wanted to simulate reproduction, but later in Mass Effect 3, the Leviathan disproves that theory. Then again, the Leviathan was added later, so the devs never clarified.
Yeah. Yeah, devs never clarified that. Yeah, as far as the fight goes, it is a lot of fun. I remember in one of my more recent playthroughs, I had the M920 Kane with me, and I just took one shot to the Reaper. It's awesome.
That's a must.
As fun as that weapon is, man, that could send you back to the save point so fast. You just need.
Yeah. Also, take it from me, viewers, don't ever shoot the M920 Kane in a tight space. You will die.
Considering that thing gives off a nuclear reaction that'll give you a giant mushroom cloud, yeah.
Yeah, I actually made that mistake before. I had the M920 Kane with me during Tywie's loyalty mission. I shot it to kill all the Geth, and I died.
You sure you weren't trying to shoot Jacob?
I wanted to shoot at Jacob, yes. Alright,
How'd you know?
Alright, well, since we're already past the mark of an hour and 15 minutes, let's get on to Mass Effect 3. Let's start with the opening of Mass Effect 3. Me personally, seeing the Reapers finally come to Earth, and then as you're actually leaving the planet, when I saw Anderson, or Admiral Anderson as he's currently known, seeing that I had to leave him behind, and that my Shepherd had to leave the homeworld of her people behind, it was genuinely upsetting. It was really hard to watch that. Just seeing all that destruction of your homeworld was just god awful.
So it's why the score for that scene alone was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's perfectly titled Leaving Earth.
Because you felt that desperation and helplessness as Earth is being completely destroyed.
Mm-hmm. The Earth is just being completely destroyed. Your people aren't ready. The whole galaxy isn't ready for them. It's like, oh man.
As I like to call that whole sequence, it's the conductor walking around the fuel ticket, punching it for all the fuels you're gonna have.
Yep.
Fuels train.
Yep, feels train. And yeah, there's some really powerful moments in Mass Effect 3. Just a quick rundown of them here. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna make a quick note of one in particular. This may not be one of the more emotional ones, but when you finally meet back up with Garrus on Paladin's moon, he's telling you, what has happened in the last 6 months since you went back to Earth and up until this point. And and he's talking about how the Reapers finally arrived, and you actually like look up and you see Paladin burning, and and uh Garrus says, like, you see that big blaze of orange, you see that blaze of fire and orange, like the biggest one on the planet, that's where I was born. I just went, oh my god. I'm not just saying this because, like, I love him to death, but, like, that was legitimately upsetting to, because, like, it's not just Earth, it's also Paladin, and, who knows how many other planets were like that. Like, and especially he says, that, they lost, like, what, 2 or 3 million the next day, and then 5 the second? Like, Jesus Christ!
Staggering casualty numbers, absolutely.
I know. And especially when you talk with him when you're back on Normandy, I actually had my shepherd say to him, like, that's not war, that's slaughter.
And it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, like, that was, like, just looking up at Paladin is just heartbreaking. Like, that was rough.
I do have to give it to the Reapers, though, because they have a very good tactical mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just wiping out your enemy. It's not only that. Garrus puts it a good way when he says they know they have, basically to paraphrase, they know they have you when you find it hard to shoot the one they've converted on their to be on their side.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't shoot the person that's been indoctrinated or been taken and repurposed as a Reaper soldier.
Right.
So it's not just we're going to wipe your entire race out. No, we're going to have your own people do it.
Yeah.
So I have to give them that for tactics. Whenever you saw the Marauders the first time, James says that thing looks Turian.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So
yeah, I was just like, oh my god, they're turning their own, the Reapers are turning our own species against us.
Sound familiar.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't quite understand as a side note, though, on Menai the very first time you see a harvester, James points it out as a harvester. And last I checked, no one knew what a harvester was. Up at that
Yeah,
point.
it's an unknown creature when it shows up in Mass.
Yeah, and James just says harvester, and you're thinking, what? So how does he know what to call it?
Yeah.
That's just a little game.
My God, indoctrination theory.
Yeah.
That's for another week there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will gain internet hate in the truckloads.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So moving along with a quick summary of heartbreaking moments in Mass Effect 3 is leaving Earth and then seeing Paladin burn. The whole cure on Tachanka. Dad, I know your opinion about that.
That's what I was laughing about, actually.
I know.
I am a scientist, like, boom! Yes! I mean, what?
So, quick note here, viewers. Dad is probably the only person I know that does not like Mordin. She doesn't like him at all. I don't know why. All I can say is...
She's had enough of his disingenuous Gilbert and Sullivan.
All I can say is heresy. Just heresy all around.
As I sang when he died, oh yeah, the annoying Solarian is dead. Woohoo! Ding dong, the witch is dead.
But let it be known that that she has said she doesn't hate Morden. Like she has stated before she hasn't killed him on purpose. Well, at least until after the initial playthrough.
No, first playthrough, I killed him on purpose.
No, I know that, but like after that.
Oh, yeah, I killed Jacob instead now.
Yeah.
I gave him the prize.
Yeah, the prize of the rocket to the face.
Yup. Hey, Garrus can take one and live. Come on.
Yeah, I know. What's up with that?
Garrus is a tough son of a bitch.
He is. Anyway, then there's also
Space Batman with a rocket.
let's not forget the Citadel assault. Because whoever survived Vermeer, you encounter again as they're protecting the council, and I'm like, get it through your thick skull, you son of a bitch! And at that point, you can either choose to shoot the Vermeer survivor or let them live. First playthrough, since I let Ashley live, I obviously didn't shoot her, but she was not welcome back on my ship after that. Like, go to Hackett's ship, get out of my sight.
You didn't let Sandra Bullock on your ship. You mean
Nope. Nope. But yeah, more recent playthroughs, I now leave Ashley on Vermeer, and I shoot Kaden on the Citadel, so now I don't have to deal with either of them. Yay! So yeah, that Citadel assault was a lot of fun. Fucking cardboard noise, good.
Yep.
I just wanted to like take him by the throat and strangle him. Just.
Well,
Tell
you
me
know,
how you really feel.
chalk this up to my side with no feelings dead, but
Only half. Only half.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. The Citadel coup was a very powerful mission. It was, because that basically said, look, this place that's been a safe haven, it's not safe anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cerberus breached the station, got through, and attempted to seize control. The one, quote, tear-jerker, I suppose, of that mission, for some people, I won't name names, would have been when Thane gets speared by Kai Lang.
Yep.
In defense of the Solarian Counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Either Valorn or a shield, depending on who you let live or die in Mass Effect 1. But my personal opinion, shoot me if you like.
Q.
I didn't feel too bad about Thane dying. He was on borrowed time as it was, and he went out the way he wanted to, doing what he thought was right.
That's a very good point.
I didn't have much issue with his death. Morden, in a sense, I really didn't either. He admitted he was getting old. So, that scene, he was doing what was right. He was righting a wrong, well, a quote wrong anyway. But, yeah. My point in the Citadel DLC, the coup attempt would have been when you confront Udina and your Vermeer survivor. I didn't ever have the option to shoot them, to be honest, because I always visited them in the hospital.
Right.
So,
Well, I always did too, but
yeah.
Yeah, for my first playthrough I visited Ash in the hospital, so I was like able to convince her that hey, I'm being right here, so. But ever since then, now in my more recent playthroughs, I don't visit Kane in the hospital, and I shoot him.
My first playthrough, I pretty much told Kaden, look, I dumped you for Garrus. Deal with it.
Yeah, I dumped you for Garrus, sorry.
Udina's betrayal was something I didn't want to see it coming, but the more you talk to him in before the coup attempt, the less he really wants to talk to you. He avoids you constantly whenever he's visiting the Vermeer survivor in the hospital. And he says, I'm thinking about making you a Spectre, what do you think? And they say, well, I'll get back to you. He just says, Shepard, on his way out. He doesn't offer anything else, no explanation. Then when you talk to him again later, he says, I have things to do. So he's avoiding you the entire time. The betrayal didn't quite come as a big shocker, but it was very rewarding to shoot him.
Oh, yeah.
During the coup attempt. Not for the reasons of him just being an absolute dominant asshole, but for other reasons.
Yeah, I always take the chance to shoot Udina. He totally deserves it, and I do not hesitate in shooting him, ever. Alright.
Yeah, I'm on that boat as well. Udina, there's no redemption for him at that point. When the stakes are that high that civilizations are burning and entire races are going to go the way of the Reaper, it's not time for you to do the kind of crap he was pulling.
Yeah.
That was some serious lack of leadership and all.
Yeah, definitely.
Throughout the trilogy.
Alright, so we're getting past the 1.5 hour mark. So let's move on to the next act, which is the Quarian and Geth fleet conflict. But that'll be like a separate debate for like another week. For now, this is just our first playthroughs. Yeah. So first playthrough, I did save the Admiral, and I did go into the Geth consensus and all that. But because Legion had died my first playthrough in Mass Effect 2, there's like, the VI of him or whatever, and at that point I was just like, yeah, I don't think this thing is gonna work, so I told Legion that it just wasn't gonna work, and yeah, he tried to kill me and I ended up shooting him. That was very sad.
Sounded like you were more like a stone cold killer.
Well, I didn't want it to end that way.
Uninstalled software.
Well, I didn't want it to end that way, but because Legion had died in Mass Effect 2, I just thought that there was just gonna be no saving that, so yeah, bye Geth.
Well, see now,
I did feel bad. I did.
I didn't have Tally in my first playthrough at that point, but I had it to where they actually coexisted. I didn't have to choose one or the other.
Right.
That's the only time that's ever happened for me, and I'm like, God dang it! When I have Tally, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Damn it, Tally! Yeah.
I'm surprised you get it to work without Tally.
I think Admiral Ron takes Tally's place.
Yeah, Admiral Wan
probably
takes her place.
Yeah, she does.
But
I just didn't know you could achieve peace with Tally dead.
I figure it's been like 7 years since I played through.
you can, and you can achieve it with the Geth VI as well. You can still achieve peace with both of them.
Oh yeah, I'm
Tally
sure.
or Legion.
I'm sure you could. It's just that my thinking at the time, I'm like, well, there's no saving these people, and
Goodbye.
I just can never let. I can never let Tally do what she does. If you choose the Geth, if you can't save them, I can't do that. I love her too much.
I watched her do that.
I could never do it.
Was that your half of your feelings, too?
My unfeeling half.
Yeah. Yeah, so
First playthrough, I managed to save both. Tally and Legion were still there, the Geth and the Quarians got along. The key point of that, make sure you have enough charm or intimidation, or for the newer system, Paragon or Renegade, however you put it. make sure you have enough of that. Make sure that you do as many acts as you can to bridge the gap between them. If you let Legion have some of the non-classified data from Mass Effect 2 with Tali and that confrontation, that goes a long way toward achieving peace. That gives you a little bit more of a boost in 3. If you don't do that, there's a very, very slim chance that you'll be able to broker peace between them.
I didn't know about that actually. Cause
Yeah,
whenever the argument happens, I have gotten it before when, like when they're arguing, I was able to like get them to get along, you know, like without taking one side or the other. But for some reason, I don't get that now. Like I don't get that option, so I have to tell Legion to stop, and then I have to talk to him again, saying like, "Oh yeah, I was lying, haha." So yeah,
It depends on how much charm or intimidation you have in the game as to if you get that option. Same thing with Miranda and Jack in Mass Effect 2.
Miranda, yeah, but Miranda and Jack I usually have no problem with. I can get them to get along, no problem, because I already have enough Renegade, but yeah, so
with Legion and Tali as well. But yeah, that decision, whether you side with one or the other, or whether you let Legion have the non-classified data from the Quarians, that helps. Saving the heretics and rewriting them versus destroying them also gives you a better mark in the Geth's book. So that'll also increase your chances of reuniting creators with Geth. So
yeah, so alright, yeah, so moving on from that, you then get to the next act where you get a message from the Asari counselor that something's going on in Thessia. And oh boy!
It's Thessian's favorite mission.
Yeah, the Reapers have come to Thessia, so
many blue moons.
Yeah. Oh boy! Not only do you see the Reapers come to Thessia and pretty much destroy what is their civilization, you then find out that the people of Thessia were hiding a Prothean beacon in the Temple of Athame, and that, yeah, it pretty much goes to shit.
That's a debatable topic for another podcast.
Yeah.
But, I will take a side note here and talk about Javik. Spoilers for those who do not have the From Ashes DLC. Please disregard if you want to keep playing, fresh off. But
and you should probably go out and buy that because Javik is so worth it.
Yes.
Javik is, just as an intro, Javik is the Prothean that you can attain on Eden Prime, ironically enough. And his character was meant to be in the base game. According to developers, his character was meant to be in the base game. The DLC was not finished, or his package was not finished before the game launched due to EA's financial concerns. They wanted it out right then, so they made Javik the first paid DLC for Mass Effect 3. But you find out on Thessia that all of the things they built around Athame are a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Javik points out every single thing from Athame's shield to her sword to the codex entries from the Athame codex to Lucin and Janiri, the two quote guides of Athame. Those things were Prothean. Janiri and Lucin were Prothean. Athame was Prothean.
Mm-hmm.
All of the things that happened, the Protheans shielded them from a meteor shower. Athame did not block it with her sword, with her shield, all of that. But yeah, that whole mission was a mess.
Yeah.
It is crucial to take Javik with you. Liara is not an option. She goes anyway. But Javik has unique dialogue throughout the entire mission, including with the lieutenant that you deal with in the very beginning.
Yeah.
So that's just all-around depressive mission because the not apex race, but the one that is the more evolved, the more peacekeeping, and the more stable of any race in the Milky Way, is now facing the full brunt of the Reaper attack on Thessia, and they don't have the proper defenses for it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not meant for frontline combat, so that mission was probably one of the top jerking moments in 3, especially whenever you're standing there after Kai Lang gets away with the data, and the Reapers are coming in. You lose all communications with everyone on that planet.
Yeah,
It's just-
and as you see the Reaper coming down on top of the on top of the people, the Asari people, it's you hear their screams over the radio. I just went, oh god.
Pretty much, Shepard's reaction at that point just says it all.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was one thing I was
Yeah,
really
that
happy
little
about.
meltdown on Shepard is.
One thing I really liked about that Shepard, that mission affected him or her very, very deeply, whether it should have or not, depending on who you romance and how the game goes. Yeah, it does. The conversation with the Asari counselor, whether it be Tivos or Irissa, either way, is still, it's a hard conversation to listen to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when in my most recent playthrough, Tivos was like, yeah, if you'll excuse me, there's just preparations to be made. She was genuinely upset, and before you can even say it, she hangs up on you, and all you hear is Shepard going, sorry. I'm like, oh no. So moving on from that mission, you then have the mission on Sanctuary where all these like refugees from the war have been going, and you see them just you see what has been really going on with Sanctuary. Cerberus has been experimenting with indoctrination, and they're just how do the Reapers like control their troops. So they take all these refugees and experiment on them just to study indoctrination. And apparently the Reapers did not like that, so yeah.
Kind of an important to keep the Reaper work going to have indoctrination flawlessly every time.
Yeah, so
The Reapers didn't like it due to the fact that Cerberus and the Elusive Man, who were running Sanctuary, were getting closer to finding out how to control indoctrinated forces.
yeah.
And the Elusive Man later, for the endings, wanted to control the Reapers. So the Reapers were attempting to interfere to stop that to stop that from happening. But yeah, it wasn't only humans. Other species were being...
Yeah, definitely other species as well. And surprisingly, you also do find Miranda here. You do meet Miranda throughout the game because she's like, oh, something has happened to my sister. I can't tell you why, but I need Alliance access. And I did not know this the first time, but I denied her Alliance access, and she died. I was like, what?
Well, you gotta figure when you did that, you just turned your back on someone who turned her back on the Elusive Man for you.
Yeah.
And had made herself a huge target.
Yeah,
just for you.
I did not know
you
that.
We're talking about. She swigs beer as she's in middle of
true.
I did. I did not know
You are
that.
the Stone Cold Steve Austin of Shepherds.
I-
And that's the bottom line, Tim, because Stone Cold Shepherd said so.
Yeah, I did not know that the first time, which was very shocking. So so now every time I play Mass Effect 3, I always give her Alliance access. I make sure she's loyal and alive from Mass Effect 2 so she can live. So yeah.
Are your shoes comfy enough?
Yeah.
I have credits. We can make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, so once you have the data from Sanctuary, then you can move on to actually assaulting the elusive man's base, which is a great mission. Uh, and surprisingly, viewers, if you did not know this, if you give Legion to Cerberus in Mass Effect 2, you have the option to do that before you activate him. Uh, yeah, and there's a side mission in Mass Effect 3 where you have to go to Grissom Academy. Jack is also there. If you don't go to Grissom Academy and you give Legion to Cerberus, they appear as enemies on the Cerberus base trying to kill you. So yeah.
We won't talk about more info because then,
That Thessian's gotta go off.
Thessian will have to have. Yeah, we'll go over time.
Yeah.
I still think Jack looks better with hair.
Jack does look better with hair. But yeah,
The
so.
outfit, not so much, but yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, important to keep. Important to save Jack in Mass Effect 3 when you go to Grissom Academy, and then you kind of have like a final showdown with Kai Lang, which is pretty cool. And
Always choose the Renegade option.
always choose Renegade. Always choose the Renegade action.
Pretty much.
That was so satisfying. Just the way you break his blade and then you just shove your Omni Blade into him. He just goes, that was for Thane, you son of a bitch.
You got penetrated.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here and just offer this up for those people who don't want to take the Renegade option. You do still kill him.
Mm-hmm.
You still stab him. You just do not break his sword. That's the only difference.
Breaking the
Everything
sword
else is fun.
Just breaking the sword is cooler. It's so much
For those
cooler.
people who don't want to take that,
Yeah. Breaking the sword is so much cooler. And then after that, you actually go back to Earth. You rally all the fleets, and you go back to Earth, and you just give the Reapers payback. The mission on Earth, though, is quite tedious. It has taken me 2 hours to finish Earth and then do like the absolute final location. It's kind of rough to get through.
There's more to it than just that. After you beat the game, and the ending horse has been beat to death repeatedly.
Yeah.
But after you get to a certain point in beating that game, and you just don't have the will to go on to face the ending again. Like, I find myself having to be like emotionally at 1000% before I go into it, which is why I always do the Citadel DLC right before going into priority.
Yes, definitely. I'll always do Citadel DLC before going to the Elusive Man's base. Anyway, so let's talk about the ending we got first playthrough. The ending to like the entire trilogy. You basically go with Anderson to the Citadel so that the Crucible can dock. And you finally get to the control room and you see that the Elusive Man's there. He's pretty much in the middle of being Reaper-fied right now, so but yeah, I actually did not know this the first time, but apparently you can get the Elusive Man to kill himself. I did not know that. I always shoot him.
I got him to kill himself.
It's reminiscent to Saren's ending in Mass Effect 1.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent to that.
And in order to get that ending, you have to be very dialogue.
Yeah, apparently so. I always just choose like, yep, Renegade.
You can still choose a Renegade option and have him kill himself at the end of the game. You just have to have a high enough charm or intimidation. You've had to have chosen Renegade options or the quote red renegade dialogue options throughout the entire game when dealing with him specifically.
Right.
I'm not sure if the ending to 2 had anything to do with it. I haven't read too far into that, but same thing with the Paragon. If you want to charm him into, well, this sounds terrible. Charm him into killing himself. Yeah, we'll go with that. If you want to charm him into doing that, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Then
Paragon it.
you have to choose all of the blue dialogue options when you're speaking with the elusive man as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so, Mass Effect 3 ending is like for a whole other podcast viewers, so we're not going to get into that because we're short on time at the moment. But yeah, so what was the ending you chose for your very first playthrough? Me? I went with Destroy.
Of course you did.
I'm sorry, Edie. I'm so sorry.
That's the bottom line.
I'm so sorry,
She
Edie.
rode into the catalyst on an ATV and, like, gave the kid the stunner.
Mm-hmm.
You're at him.
Yep. I'm so sorry, Edie.
Wouldn't that have given her the refuse ending?
I actually have chosen the refuse ending before. And I just felt like I felt like an absolute dick. I'm like, oh great, I just doomed the entire galaxy, and all you see is Liara's recording of like, oh yeah, we bonded together, and we built this giant weapon, and it still wasn't enough. I just went, well, shit.
So how does that make you feel?
Yeah. That made me feel pretty bad. I was like, oh shit.
Well, my first playthrough was on the PlayStation 3, and I think this was actually before I downloaded the extended cut, so I did do the quote vanilla ending without any kind of extras in there.
Yeah.
I chose Control. That was my very first ending. I chose Control. It was okay. Anderson would not have approved.
Definitely not.
It was... I'll refer to the elusive man's dialogue there. Which would you believe? An old soldier stuck in his ways? Or the possibility that there is another option. And, depending on your ending choice, again, that's another debate for another day.
Yeah.
But I chose the Control ending.
Okay.
Just to have a different aspect, different option.
Yeah. Dad, what ending did you choose?
Synthesis.
Synthesis.
I always choose synthesis.
Wow.
Green. Choose green.
I have chosen Synthesis. It's pretty interesting. Yeah. Why are you green?
Yeah, exactly. Why are you green? Oh no.
Oh my God, Shepard, you can't just ask someone why they're green.
How would you feel if some alien pooped you out?
Yeah,
I feel pretty green.
Yeah, for those who actually before I get to that, Richard, what ending did you choose first playthrough for Mass Effect 3?
My first playthrough, I got the Shepard Lives Destroy ending. And let me preface that by saying I played this game at launch on PC. There was obviously no extended cut at the time. I remember sitting there staring at my screen in horror for a good 15 minutes before I made a choice. And
oh.
I just couldn't. I'm like, picking Destroy is what we're here to do. This is like what the goal has been from the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But we're killing Edie, potentially ourselves,
and if
and
you,
definitely the Geth.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Which I just got peace with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I objectively looked at my options. At the time, there was no refusal ending. There was Control, which would put me within the framework of the Reaper software. And I couldn't trust that this being was telling me the truth in terms of I would keep my individuality, my agency in decisions as my personality was assimilated, and what I saw as an overwriting of his personality. So really, I'm dying to format his opinion. And what's to say he doesn't decide to continue after I'm gone? What's to say that the synthesis ending doesn't put everyone in a position, because in that version of events, every piece of the Reaper framework is still working. It's just that we've loosened the controls on everything. So you have to ask yourself, am I putting everyone in a position where they could at one point in the future be controlled by this merciless machine intelligence with all the indoctrination pieces inside them? It would make it hopeless for them to resist. So all of these options terrified me, and I've said already that I'm highly, just an entire species should go silently into the night in the genocide ride. So for me, picking Destroy was horribly, how do I put this? Just intensely uncomfortable. It was not something I enjoyed, and I was really upset for a good day and a half afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
all of this feels wrong. I wasn't one of the people who grabbed a pitchfork and torches and, assaulted BioWare's headquarters via their forum. However, I did have discussions with people I knew within BioWare, contacted them and said, hey, this ending is incredibly bleak. Because after making that horrifying decision, it's very much implied that the Levo species might be okay in a completely war-torn and destroyed Earth, but the Dextro species would not be. Everyone was stranded. It was just a very bleak, terrible ending to that war, and it was highly upsetting. And I'm very, very, very glad for the extended cut.
Yeah.
A good chunk of those bad assumptions go away, because it's fair to say that they were bad assumptions, and it was only because we were given very poor information as to what was actually going on.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that was my first experience with it. But that's all been done to death. We all know everyone has their horror story.
Yeah.
Oh, I cried.
Yeah, all like the Mass Effect 3 ending stuff. That's for another week. Anyway, we only.
But that was my first playthrough story. So
Yeah.
I had to share that.
Yeah, so there we go. That's all of our first playthroughs. It took us pretty much all of our time. So, we're not gonna really have time for any more debates, so let's just get on to our first thoughts of our squad mates, and then first thoughts about alien races. That's pretty much all we're gonna have time for. So this is kind of like a lightning round first thoughts kind of thing.
Jeopardy!
Yeah. Jeopardy! Alright, so, reactions to squad mates. Kaden.
Meh.
Oh, well,
Did he grow up?
Did he grow up?
No reaction, positive or negative, to Caden. No.
Once upon a time, Kaden went boom.
Yeah. Kaden went boom. All Thessian has to say is, don't make him hump your leg, and then he's fine.
Yeah.
As long as he's not...
your leg, it's okay.
Yeah. Alright, Ashley.
I like Ashley.
Badass with her own baggage. She has her own issues to deal with.
She's actually a good squad mate.
Yes,
I liked her. Yep. People call her a space racist, but I think that's crap.
Alright,
Yeah.
she has her reasons for it.
Alright,
Yeah.
Liara.
I agree.
Liara.
Get in.
Yeah!
Not
There's a girl!
Blue moon.
Oh wait, what?
Alright,
Didn't romance her, but she's like a sister.
yeah. Alright, next one. Tally.
Cute. Adorable sister.
She's so
like the little
cute.
sister you always want.
I love her.
Yeah, an adorable geek girl. I'll throw that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, cute, but with her own
And
issues.
if hips don't lie.
Yeah, hips don't lie. All right, Jacob, get out. Get
This
out.
prize can go
Get out.
away.
Get out. Get out.
Excuse me, I have to take a bathroom break to go barf.
Bad biotics, but decent so long as you're not playing as femship.
Yeah.
Because the writers just had her flirting with him from day one.
Yeah.
He get big boom two face.
Big boot to face.
I actually like him so little, he might be like on my bottom 3 of all BioWare games.
Okay, Miranda. Kind of a bitch.
Ass.
First impression? Bitch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
First
Bitch.
impression. Throughout the games,
She
her ass is a
slightly
gas
gets
giant.
better.
Wait, what?
She
Yeah,
slightly gets
She
better.
If you
She
romance
does.
her, she gets a lot better.
Yeah.
She gets better regardless if you romance her. Her character grows on you.
Yeah.
Best way to
First
describe her
impression,
is using a
tag
foreigner
myself
song,
in.
and then the foreigner song "Cold as Ice" is pretty much describing her. When
Yeah.
you first meet her.
All right. All right. Next character. Thane. Awesome. I do like Thane.
My favorite
They
assassin.
had a very cool intro.
Yeah.
His intro was pretty much all that was cool about him, in my opinion.
All right.
disagree. I
And you know that little
character
quote of Kai Lang was stopped by a dying Drell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
All right. Well, I already know her opinion about this, but Morden. He's so awesome.
Big bada boom.
He's so cool. I want the singing Morden plushie. This is so bad.
Bro, take a breath.
Yeah, as you first meet him, take a breath and shut the hell up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Samara. Awesome. Samara's awesome. Samara's awesome. I love her.
She was also very much on the cool intro.
I like her voice actress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also boobs. Boobs.
But she's not Bubezia.
She's not Bubezia, no.
Bubezia.
Sorry, matriarchs are obviously affected by the mathematically.
Okay, Zaid. Awesome.
Badass.
Zaid's awesome.
Damn chocolate chip cookies.
First impression
Kasumi.
was badass. Yeah.
Kasumi. Awesome.
Why are you talking to me through an advertisement?
Yeah.
I was greatly amused by Thief Antics,
Yeah.
but I play a lot of D&D. So
Let's see. Legion. Pretty good.
do a lot of Mr.
He
Roboto.
is your badass sniper.
Yeah. Well,
He was
I'll get to my badass sniper in a little bit.
Actually, he was actually better than Garrus as a sniper when he's in your squad.
Yeah.
I honestly never put him with this. Well, actually, no. He does have a sniper rifle, but I just didn't use him as much, so.
Give him the widow, and he's a killing machine.
He is OP.
Oh, I definitely believe that.
Whoa.
Okay. Let's see.
As for impressions of Legion, no data available.
Yeah, no data available.
Unknown error.
Yeah.
His intro was mysterious, especially the first time through. You're
Wow.
thinking,
Oh,
what is this dude's deal?
oh,
The
I
music
almost.
was good too.
Oh, I almost forgot. Okay. James.
Meathead.
I like James,
I mean,
but then I'm a Hispanic guy, and he's a strong.
I mean, like he's
character.
kind of cool, but dude, like back off with the flirting, just please. I'm dating
Oh,
someone
yeah.
else here.
It's also when you immediately realize that it's Freddie Prinze Jr. and if you grew up with his movies in the 90s, you're like, what?
Yep. All right.
I like James. He's one of those characters you had to watch Paragon Lost to understand.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
very good.
All right. Javik.
Jerk.
Throw it out the airlock.
Throw it up the airlock.
I like his.
Confused.
Being very
Yes.
active on the BSN, I knew about protein. It's called Javik,
Okay.
and I didn't know what to expect from him. There was all this kinds of hubbub about having to pay for a character, which I didn't really mind. And then I got to see that he was both grim and serious, and then when he wasn't grim and serious, he was the most sarcastic thing in the entire universe.
Yeah, pretty
And that
much.
instantly endeared him to me.
All
I was
right.
like, yes, master space troll.
All right. Rex, my bro, my bro.
My first impression of him was actually negative.
Yeah, I was actually like kind of scared of him at a point. I was like, dude, back off. But as I went through the game, oh my god, my bro, my.
Oh, I love him. He's one of my favorite characters. But at that time, right there, I couldn't look past his bounty hunter looseness with the rules. The whole idea that I'd probably have to restrain this guy's actions at some time put me off to him.
Yeah.
But I ended up, he's my second favorite character as far as friends for Shepard behind Garrus.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Okay, Grunt, my son. my son.
How are those noodles?
A little spicy.
now, I'm just gonna say this once. I love Steve Blum as a voice actor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's Ogren as the Krogan. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
The perfect Krogan.
He's
The
freaking
perfect
awesome.
Krogan.
Yes,
Who was a kid.
exactly.
Yeah, who is like 2 years old, and he's so adorable.
And loves dinosaurs.
Oh
All right.
my god, I cried laughing when I read that.
Yeah. All right. Jack. Jack, I was initially scared of, but I grew to really,
Biotic.
but I grew to really like her in 3. Like, she's awesome.
You know,
She's
first
one.
impression, yeah. Jack, I thought was going to be a guy.
Yeah, I think we all thought that.
Thought Jack was going to be a guy. Then I saw the whole cultish shaved haircut. Thought, the fuck? Okay, right.
I thought Sinead O'Connor with tattoos. I'm sorry.
Go Sinead O'Connor.
All right.
But she grows if you reminds her too.
All right. Before we get to the obvious one, is there anyone I'm missing? Because my memory is failing me at the moment.
Well, you have Cortez and Trainer and
Cortez and Trader are awesome. Especially Trader. You barely.
Trainer.
he
I
has
actually
the shiniest legs I have ever seen.
I know, right?
You kicked me off the.
Made a game save to romance Trainer.
You kicked me off the ship with barely enough time to grab my toothbrush.
Well,
There's so many awesome things about her.
I
So many awesome
love
things
Trader.
about her.
She's so cute. All right. Is there anyone I'm missing? Chocwas. Chocwas.
Sarah
my-
Spice Brandy.
Oh my God. My drinking
Another
buddy.
Star Trek: The Next Generation voice actor. I love her.
Romulan, yeah.
My drinking buddy, Chocwas.
First impressions, I really liked her because she shot Jenkins down in a hurry and told him, dude, keep it, settle down, cowboy. You're not going to go do something stupid or else I'm going to have to piece you back together again.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a little trivia bit. Hacksaw.
Yeah.
Hacksaw.
Anyway,
It's an anagram.
all right. Is there anyone else I'm
Diana
missing?
Allers, which I didn't.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
was like,
really
what
count.
happened to your face?
I don't really count her because you only have her for like one game, and I barely talk to her anyway. So I don't know.
Ours grows on me. Khaleesi Benzine and
Her
Al-Jalal.
face is messed up though.
Okay. Well.
Oh god.
All right. But before we get off track here, all right. This is the last bit we're gonna do. Last squad mate. Oh my God.
Irene, what?
Yeah. Who didn't see this coming? Come on.
Sweet.
if
fangirling.
Viewers, if you hadn't guessed it by now, Garrus' husband. I'm sorry.
Husbando.
Husband. Oh
Tears
my
of joy already rolling.
I
This is
will
gonna be
never romance anyone else for Femshep but Garrus. He's just that good. Okay, I will admit that his romance was underwhelming in 2, but it pays off so much in 3. Oh my god.
So, do you want some of Ceris's manuals to go with that fangirlism?
Maybe.
Oh, nice.
Hey, the same can be said for like you and Liara and Athena and Timos and Lexi.
Hey, at least I have options, babe. You only got one.
Yeah, we'll get to Thessian's love of Asari in another week. Especially Lexi. Oh my god.
Careful, careful. That comeback was so strong.
But Garrus is your best friend. Best lover.
He
Okay,
well, never
Best
for
squad
me.
mate.
First impression of Garrus. Very first impression was he doesn't think before he acts. He did
Yeah,
something
he
very
definitely
stupid
didn't do that.
and could have really easily gotten Dr. Michelle killed. Combat-wise, Mass Effect 1, Sir dies a lot. He dies
Yeah,
so many
he
times.
dies
in my
so
No
much.
such thing as cover.
It's like actually painful. The only
That's why you can take the rocket to the face.
yeah, in terms of gameplay, he's really only useful until 3.
Mass Effect 2, he was vengeful. He was just not my type of squad mate.
Yeah,
I did not care for him at all.
I'll get to.
Yeah.
There. Just wait. There's gonna be like a whole podcast about Garrus. Just, oh my god, it's gonna be all over
She's
the
already
place.
having a hard time talking about it.
Yeah. In 3, he was okay, at least for me. But
Yeah.
in 2 and 1, no, not at all.
All right, so that's actually all the time we have for tonight. The rest we're gonna save for week 2, as well as some other prompts. So yeah, viewers, thank you all so much for joining the first Galactic Squadcast
And
of.
I'm
remember,
disappointed.
Of my
if I didn't
channel.
get to gush over Garrus.
like and subscribe, leave a comment. Yeah.
Oh, Richard,
know.
did you want to gush over Garrus? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
It's okay, we can edit.
Story and love.
Okay. Love. All right.
Raptor.
Raptor husband. All right. Anyway, yes, guys, thank you all so much for joining us for the Galactic Squadcast number 1. Next week we will have some of the other prompts we didn't get to discuss this week, and some other ones, and maybe later this month we'll get some special guests. I can't say who.
And
I can't say who, but you guys are gonna love it. Anyway.
And remember, whoever's watching, viewers, the comment what you would like to ask as well, or to ask us.
Exactly.
So we can answer it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We may not answer it in the best form or the most
Maturity is an
mature
issue
form.
amongst our numbers.
Yeah.
We're children at heart.
Yeah.
Maturity is an issue in my nation. People get over it.
Yeah. All right.
Nation.
Yeah, so yeah, go ahead and leave comments down below what prompts and debates you would like us to discuss in the next podcast. We'll be happy to answer them if we have time. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this first Galactic Squadcast. This is me, the Renegade Cosplayer, and Richard.
DieByTheSword.
And Dedmeethed.
And remember, if you don't like it or you want to go after one of us, just go after me.
Yeah. Hey!
You said yeah.
And Thessian Shadow.
And remember, tell us which one of us you like more.
And
Yeah.
don't offend afterward.
Yeah.
No, don't offend.
And why is that answer me?
Alright, guys, this has been the first Galactic Squadcast. We will catch you all next week. See you later!
Bye.
Bye.
Bah.